Hi, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for choosing to watch this video. This video is going to focus on strength and balance in our legs, but like always, I'm going to start with our spinal floss and a little extra hip mobility before we move into our standing balances. So I like to do my spinal floss on my mat because the floor is really good feedback for us. However, if coming down to the floor is not available to you or it doesn't feel good, you can always do the spinal floss seated. I'm going to go through it on the floor first, then I will demonstrate how to do it seated. If you don't want to wait for that, I have another video that shows how to do the spinal floss seated, so you're welcome to click over and check that one out while we're working here. So coming to the mat, we're going to lay down with our knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat, and knees and feet are about hips distance apart. Taking a breath, and then taking your hands and placing them on your pelvis. So a lot of people call this their hips. The hip is actually the joint where the bone meets the socket, but this is our pelvis, and this is where we want our hands. And the reason we want our hands here is because the movement that we're getting ready to do originates from the pelvis and the base of the spine. So we're going to start with some rounding and arching of the spine, also known as cat-cow. Think about your pelvis rolling to meet the ribs. The back comes in contact with the mat all the way from the sacrum, which is where the tailbone meets the pelvis, all the way up to in between the shoulders. So this is our rounding. And then we're going to reverse it. The pelvis is going to roll toward the heels. The back arches and comes up off the mat. You might even be able to get your hands under your back. If you can't, that's totally fine. We're going to just go back and forth between these two, and you decide what it looks like. If it's going to be a subtle move or a large move, that's totally up to you. Make sure you're breathing. And what we're doing here is we are lengthening our spine, we're rounding our spine, we are creating some spinal movement that we normally take standing up. However, when we are lying down, we get the feedback of the floor, which helps us stay in alignment. And then we'll come back to neutral. Now, to find your neutral spine, you're going to just rock your pelvis gently. And in the lower part of your back, imagine you have a blueberry and you're not crushing it, but you're also not letting it roll around. You're holding that blueberry right there in the lower part of your back. That's your neutral spine. And that's where we want to be right now, because the next movement of the spine is twisting or rotating. And we do that by letting our knees go side to side. And you can start at doing 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You can start with the knees and feet hips distance apart. You can bring them closer together. You can bring them out wide. Each foot placement is going to give you a little different twist. You're also welcome to make this move a little bit bigger. The only requirement is that the shoulders stay on the mat. So this is our twisting for our spine. So think about when you're reaching back to put your seatbelt on, or if you are looking out your back window to reverse because you don't trust your backup camera. We want to make sure we are still twisting our spine. And then go ahead and come back to neutral. So that little pelvic rocking. And then we're going to extend the legs out straight. I'm going to need to scoot up on my mat. And here we're going to take a lateral bend with our spine, but before we do that, we're going to lengthen the spine. So think about your feet going all the way to the end of the mat and your head going all the way to the top. And that gives you that length in the spine that we need. So our lateral bend is when we're bending to the side. And we do that by sliding our heels to the right corner of the mat. You can stay right here. If you want more of a bend in the spine, then you slowly bring your head and shoulders over to the top right corner. So now I have this curve on my right side and this extension on my left side. I can cross my legs at the ankles. I can bring my arms out, finding a place that feels good if I want a stretch. Everything stays on the floor though. So if you bring the arms out and they start coming up, we want to bring them down. I like to keep my arms at my side. Think about breathing into the left lung, letting it expand to the front, to the side, and to the back. And then bringing the arms down if you have them up, uncrossing the legs. Head and shoulders come back to the middle of the mat, then the feet. And take a moment and notice how the left side feels versus the right side. Maybe you feel some length or some expansion. So now we're going to move to the right, but before we do that, we're going to lengthen the spine. So extend, feet all the way to the bottom, head all the way to the top, and then slide the heels to the left corner. Slide the head and shoulders to the left corner. Cross the legs at the ankles if you would like. Add some arms. Remember, everything stays on the floor. Breathe into that right lung to the front, to the side, and to the back. And then bring the arms down, uncross the legs, head and shoulders, come back to the middle, followed by the feet. And that is our spinal floss. We've moved our spine in all the directions that it goes. Now, before we come up to standing to work on our balance, we're going to do a little bit of work for that hip joint because that's what we're going to be stabilizing today. So this stretch is called the figure 4 or piriformis. So the knees are bent, soles of the feet to the mat. If it's available to you, bringing the right ankle to the left knee and then pushing that right knee away from the body. Now, if this is not available to you, you can always straighten the leg a little bit and then maybe just let the hip open up. So you're still opening the joint. So the opening comes from the hip joint. The piriformis stretch gets the opening, but we also get a stretch here. And if you want more of a stretch, you can see about raising that left leg off the mat and pulling it in. Now this is going to activate some core muscles. So it's not a must. We just really want to get this opening here in our hip with some stability and the stretch. And you can come in and out, but the movement comes from the hip, not the knee. So my movement is here. And then we'll switch. So again, if this is not available to you, then what you're going to do, straighten the legs a little bit, bend at the knee, and then just let the leg fall open to wherever it can. If this is available, remember we want to keep the knee away from the body. And from here, we will come up to seated. So you can roll to one side, pushing yourself up, and then coming up to standing. Now, if you would prefer to do your spinal floss seated, I'm going to go through that quickly and show you how that's done. If you've already done your spinal floss and you're ready to move on, grab a chair or a step stool, something that you can use to support yourself for balance. If you prefer to do the spinal floss seated, you can do that on the floor or in a chair, and we're going to do the same move. So we're going to practice arching the back. The movement comes from the base of the spine and then rounding the back, and it's very subtle. And then we'll move into our twisting. Again, we're twisting from the lower part of the back. It's very subtle. And then our lateral bend. So for this, you can place one hand beside you. You can bring the other hand up if you'd like, or you don't have to. It depends on your range of motion. And then we're going to think about just extending through the left, letting the right side compress, and just getting this little bend, lateral bend in our spine. Coming up, moving to the opposite side. And that is the seated spinal floss.
Let's do a little bit of a flow. You will need a chair or a step stool or step ladder. We are not coming down to the floor, and you can use the chair seat, the armrest, or the back. If you do not have a chair similar to this, you could use a chair in your living room. Maybe it's a recliner. You would just use the back of the chair, not the seat. And if you don't have a chair, you could use the back of the couch or the armrest of the couch, but whatever you can find, just please remember we're not coming down to the floor. So go ahead and get set up, get your chair or put your mat in a place that works for you, and we'll get started. So this is going to be a slow flow. We are going to hold the postures for 3 breaths, 30 seconds. Sometimes if you've practiced with me, you know I lose count. But the goal is for us to get into the pose, work the strength and the balance, let ourselves align there, and then move to the next pose. Facing your chair, finding the 4 corners of your feet. So lifting the toes, pressing the ball of the foot into the mat, and then placing the toes down. We want the weight under the big toe and the pinky toe, and then finding the 4 corners of the heel, the 2 corners of the heels, the outside edges. Think about pulling your mat apart with your legs. Your feet, you'll feel the muscles on the outside of the leg activate. Take a breath here. And then if you'd like to, you can bring your arms up or out to the side or leave them down. And we're going to take our hip hinge, so bending the knees, pushing the butt out a little bit, hinging at the hips, back stays straight. I'm going to bring my arms to my chair, the seat of the chair, taking a few breaths here. And then I'm going to step back into my down dog. So I am going to take 1 step back with my left, 1 back with my right, bring my feet to the outside edge of my mat, keeping that hinge, bend the knees, send the pelvis and the butt back, let the back stay straight, head comes through the arms. Now, if you're doing this with something that's higher than the chair I'm using, it will look something like this. And this is perfect. So we're breathing here. We're in our down dog.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up a little bit and we're going to bring the left foot to the middle of the mat. We're still staying down a little bit in our down dog, and we're going to bring that right leg behind us. And we're going to lift that right leg. And as we lift that leg, we're hinging from our hip. So we're only going as far as we can. So it's like this counter balance. I lift the leg, I hinge forward. So find where you feel comfortable, squeeze the muscles around the bones, push the left leg into the mat, use that chair to help you. If you want to test your balance, stick that left arm out in front of you. Bring the arm down, bring the foot down. We're going to step forward with our right leg, back with our left. Bend that right knee and keep that knee over the toe. And now we are in our warrior one. Arms can come out to the side. Feel your alignment. If you find that you're here, you want to come up. We want distance between these feet. This is not what we're looking for. That messes up our alignment. Distance and width. So this is our warrior one. We'll be here for 30 seconds. You can keep this static or dynamic. You can bring the arms out to the side. If you really want to challenge yourself, you could take a lunge instead of warrior one. That looks like this. That back foot is straight ahead and I bend both knees and I'm coming up and down. Or I'm holding. I'm watching my knees, making sure they're not going in and out. Again, 30 seconds if you'd like to. Bring your hands to your chair. We'll move to warrior two, and we're going to do that just by picking up that back foot and readjusting. So now the left foot is turned facing out, the right foot still facing forward. Wide stance. We can't do warrior two here. We've got to take a wide stance. So however wide you think it is, maybe take one more step out. Bend the right knee. The left leg is straight but not locked. Push those feet into the mat. And then if you want to, you can bring the arms up. Make sure the arms are in line with the shoulders, not this, not this. We want them coming straight out from the shoulder. Dynamic or static. Breathing, pushing those legs into the mat, using the chair. Coming up just a minute, and then back into warrior two. We're going to take an extended side angle here. So we are going to reach with our rib cage, bringing the hand to the chair or forearm to thigh. The left arm can come up. "30 seconds, and you can come up and down if you would like to, or you can hold it. Use that chair. If you're getting pinching in the neck, bring the arm down. We've just shifted our center of gravity. And then we're going to straighten that right leg and see if we can fold a little bit more. Breathing. As we come up, we're using our side body to bring us up to standing. And back to my warrior two. And then I'm going to come back to my warrior one. From here,
I'm going to straighten my right leg, hinge at my hips, fold to my chair. Check your pelvis and make sure it's not shifting to one side or the other. And just kind of rest. We're getting a stretch up the back of the legs. And then we're going to come up, move that right foot to the middle of the mat, hinging at the hips. Left foot's out behind us. We're going to lift that left leg as high as we can. And then if we can, we're going to add arms out to the side. And you can alternate or you can try both. Check the ankle. If it's wobbling, really stabilize. Squeeze the muscles to the bone in both legs. Lower that left foot. Step back with the right for plank. So this is a plank. Bring the abdominal muscles together. Push through the arms. And then we'll push back to down dog. Widen your feet. Bend your knees. Pelvis and butt goes back. And then head comes through. Making sure you're breathing. Coming up, we'll walk our feet in. And we're going to come up to standing the same way we came down. We're going to hinge up from our hips. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite side. You can leave your chair right where it is. I'm going to move mine to the other side of the mat. And this time I'm going to use the armrest and the seat of the chair to demonstrate the flow. Okay. If you want to, you can try it on the lower side of the chair now or continue with the chair back. Please just make sure you feel stable and comfortable. Finding the four corners of the feet, lift the toes up, press the ball of the foot into the mat, weight under the big toe, the little toe, and then the outside edge and the inside edge of the heel. Bend the knees a little bit, take a breath. You can bring arms out to the side, or you can bring arms up, whatever feels the best for you. For me, it's out here. This is mountain pose. This is your mountain pose. And then we're going to take that hinge. So I'm going to bend the knees a little bit more, keeping them over my toes, sticking my butt and pelvis out, hinging in my hip joint. Back stays flat. I can bring my hands to the armrest or the seat of the chair. Take a few breaths here. And then I will step back to my down dog. So one step back, feet to the edge of the mat, bend the knees, push the butt and the pelvis back. And you're not gripping onto your chair for dear life, but you can hold on to it. Back is straight, letting the head fall through the arms. And make sure you're breathing. And then we will come up. And this time we're going to bring our right foot to the middle. That left foot behind us. And this is that thing, when I lift that left foot, I'm hinging forward a little bit. So maybe I've already hinged, and this is where I want to be. Push the right foot into the mat. If you notice the wobbling, really ground, squeeze the muscles around the bone, squeeze the muscles around the bone in the left leg, and then add the arm if you'd like to. We're supposed to be here for 30 seconds, and I keep forgetting that. And then we will step through with our left foot. Our right foot comes back,
and we're in that warrior one position. So we have some distance between the feet. We also had some width. My right foot is at the edge of my mat. My foot is not pointing forward, but pointing at an angle. Left knee is bent over the toe, not in, not out. This is my warrior one, static or dynamic. Check your alignment. We're not back here and we're not up here. We're right here. 30 seconds. Knees are never locked. If you want to take the lunge on this side, you can. The right foot comes in. We bend both knees. And we're coming up and down. Watching that knee so that it's not going in and out. So from our warrior one, we'll move into our warrior two. Nice distance between the feet. Right foot is pointing forward, left is pointing to the side. Bend the left knee, shoulders over pelvis. And what I'm going to do here, the arms, remember, we are not here or here, we're right here. Dynamic or static. Squeeze the muscles around the arm bones. Push the feet into the mat. And then we're going to reach with the left hand through the rib cage. Forearm will come to thigh or hand to chair. And then we can bring that right arm up if we'd like to. If you bring that right arm up, let the shoulder blade come to the spine. Push that left foot into the mat. Breathing, coming out anytime you need to. And then straighten that left leg. And we get a little triangle pose here. Trying to not freak out because there's a bee. And then we'll bend, and when we come up, we're going to use our side body to bring us up. Warrior two. And then we'll turn back to our warrior one. And then we're going to straighten the left leg, hinge at the hips, keeping the back straight for our pyramid. We're getting this nice stretch up the back of the legs. The knees are not locked though. We'll come up. We're going to move that left foot to the middle. The right leg behind us, push the left foot into the mat. Lifting the right leg. Adding the left arm if you would like to. Or trying to add the right. I cannot without all of my weight shifting. So I'll just stick with the left. Squeeze the muscles around the bones. Bring the arm in, bring the leg down. We'll step back to plank. So you can do plank on the armrest. Push the hands into the armrest. Or you can do plank on the seat also. We want the back straight. None of this. None of this. This is not plank. This is doing nothing for your back. So if plank doesn't feel accessible to you, then skip it. Push the arms into the mat. The chair. Push the arms into the chair. And then down dog. So adjust your feet, bend your knees, push your butt and your pelvis back. Reach with the arms. Let the head fall through. And breathe. And then we will start walking our feet to our chair. Bend the knees. Hinge at the hips to come up to standing. Well done. I hope that you will stick around. There is a little guided meditation in savasana immediately following this. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you decided to try this practice today.
Settle in on your mat. Wiggle around. Let yourself get comfortable. Close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice the sounds that you hear. If you'd like to set an intention, you can. If nothing comes to mind, you're welcome to use I deserve to rest. Just for now, let worry fall away. Let anger soften and dissolve. Notice what is good and give thanks. Bring care to all that you do and offer kindness to yourself and all beings. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, forehead, eyebrows, eyelids, nose, mouth, chin, cheeks, ears, front of the neck, sides of the neck, back of the neck, back of the head, the whole head, relaxing, trusting the support beneath it, bringing the awareness to the shoulders, upper arm, elbows, forearms, wrists, back of hands, palms of hands, all 10 fingers, both arms, relaxing, heavy. Noticing the collarbones, chest, front of the ribs, belly, front of the pelvis, shoulder blades, back of the ribs, back of the pelvis, sides of the pelvis, the whole torso, heavy and relaxed. Noticing the upper part of the legs, knees, shins, ankles, tops of the feet, backs of the legs, backs of the knees, calves, heels, soles of the feet, and all 10 toes. Both legs heavy, relaxed, trusting the support beneath them. The whole body heavy and relaxed, trusting the support beneath it. Bringing the awareness to the breath, noticing the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause. Beginning to count the breath. Inhale is 1, exhale is 2, inhale is 3, exhale is 4,
just to the count of 10, and then starting over. Letting go of the focus on the breath. Letting go of the focus on the body. If the mind wants to think, let it think. Beginning to bring your awareness back to the body by wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. Maybe taking some wrist and ankle circles. Gradually moving into some bigger movements for the body as you slowly come back into the space, taking a big stretch. As you feel ready, rolling to one side and taking a few breaths there. Coming up to seated. Closing your eyes, expressing gratitude for yourself for taking time today for this practice. Thank you for being here. I am grateful for you.